God, my God. I hate to be this motherfucking accurate on these karmics and what they've been doing in my energy and in y'all energy. When I say that Father God say that they are dropping dead, Father God said, oh my God, they are dropping dead one by one. This group that thought this shit was cute, that thought they was gang stalking and putting lies out and just going, so ham on their little fake ass platform and all this old shit, and thought that all that shit they was doing was so cute. I promise you, this is Karmic 101 at its finest. Like, we are not in high school. When I say that this shit has came back so hard on these motherfuckers, oh my God. I'm not going to even say get the popcorn and peanuts. You're not going to be able to eat when y'all hear this video. Like, share, thumb up the video. Y'all not going to be able to eat when you hear this video. I'm telling you right now, when y'all listen to this video, this shit is deep. Like damn, I got to motherfucking light up a floozy for this because you motherfuckers really did your own self in. Like, when I say you signed your own death certificate, hating a motherfucker you didn't know, or hating a motherfucker that didn't even hate you, that had nothing against you. Like, I can't make it up. Like, y'all really have done a number to y'all life. And it is a shame. Like, this is a crime shame, like the shit y'all have done. We gonna listen to this shit all the way to... I listened to 9 minutes and had to stop. Because I just can't believe how deep this shit is going. Okay, what is ONCOLOGIST? Is that on coloxis or something? I want to say... Why I want to say that word? Toxicology.
First, it was a heart attack. Sudden, unexpected. They mourned and moved on. Then a car accident. Tragic, they said. Coincidence. Then cancer. Fast and aggressive. By the third death, people started asking questions. By the fifth, they stopped talking about it publicly.
Y'all stupid.
But you know. You've known since the first one dropped. Because they all had something in common. They all participated in trying to destroy you. They all signed their names to your downfall, and one by one, the universe is crossing them off the list.
Ooh.
You didn't cast a single spell. You didn't wish harm on anyone. You just existed. And that existence, when protected by something greater, becomes a death sentence for those who attack it. The pattern is undeniable now. 5 bodies in 18 months. 5 people who were once united in their hatred of you.
5 bodies in 18 months. 5 bodies in 18 months. Are y'all hearing this shit?
The doctors call it unexplainable. But you call it exactly what it is. Consequence.
Consequence.
Not revenge.
Karma.
Not your doing. Just the natural result of attacking someone the universe refuses to let be touched. They thought they could coordinate against you in secret. They thought their group chats, their whispered meetings, their collective plotting would stay hidden. But the universe keeps better records than any screenshot. And now, those records are being closed. One funeral at a time. People around you are starting to notice the pattern, but they're too afraid to say it out loud.
I told you they have funerals back to back.
And their eyes linger a little too
long. I told y'all this.
They hear another name added to the obituary list, and they glance at you sideways, wondering if you notice, wondering if you know, wondering if somehow you're connected. And you are connected, not as the cause, but as the common thread. Every person who's dropped was part of the same conspiracy. Every death traces back to the same source. They tried to end you, and instead, they ended themselves. That's not murder. That's cosmic mathematics. That's spiritual law executing itself without needing your permission or participation. Before we go deeper into this, I need you to understand something crucial. If you're watching this and feeling that chill down your spine, that knowing in your gut that says, this is my story, then you need to do 3 things right now. Hit that like button immediately.
It's definitely
Subscribe to
my
this channel
story.
because you're part of a
Definitely
community
this is my
that sees
story.
what
Like, I
others
can't make
refuse
it
to
up.
acknowledge. And drop the number 777 in the comments if you've watched your
777
enemies fall one
again.
by one
That is
without
the
lifting a
chosen
finger.
one's number.
Because what I'm about to reveal isn't just observation, it's documentation of spiritual warfare playing out in real time. You're not imagining the body count. You're witnessing justice. Now let's break down exactly why they're dying, what connects every death, and why you're the only one who truly understands what's happening. It started with Marcus. Heart attack at 42, no prior conditions, no family history. He went to sleep on a Tuesday and never woke up Wednesday morning. His wife found him cold, peaceful, gone. The autopsy said massive coronary failure. The doctors said sometimes it just happens. His friends said he worked too hard, stressed too much, lived too fast, but you knew different. Because Marcus was the one who started the group chat. He was the ringleader, the coordinator, the one who gathered everyone together with a single purpose.
God, see, I'm gonna take the ringleader out.
He was the architect
first,
of a campaign
since
designed
he
to
think he
isolate
wanna
you,
orchestrate the
humiliate
shit.
you, and break you down until you disappeared from their awareness
This
completely.
shit's crazy.
For 6 months before his death, Marcus was relentless. He sent messages daily, keeping everyone alive, making sure no one forgot the mission. He created fake accounts to harass you online. He spread rumors at your workplace. He poisoned relationships you built for years. He weaponized people's trust and turned them into soldiers in a war you didn't even know was happening. And he did it all with a smile, with confidence, with the arrogance of someone who believed he was untouchable. He told others you deserved it. He convinced them you were the problem. He made himself the hero of a story where you were the villain, and people believed
Marcus,
him
you
because
did
his
all that,
performance
Marcus.
was that good.
Marcus, you did all
But
that.
something shifted 3 weeks before
Marcus.
he died. You remember, because that's when everything suddenly went quiet. The harassment stopped. The messages dried up. The coordinated attacks paused. At first you thought it was strategy, that they were regrouping, planning something bigger. But now you know the truth.
No, I spoke that
That's
shit
when
out
his heart
weeks
started
ago.
showing
I said
signs.
first they gonna
That's when
see
his
your
body
ass go
began the
down,
process of
and then the
shutting
rest of
down.
these
That's when the
motherfuckers gonna
universe
follow.
started
Y'all remember
connecting
when I
what he
said that
owned.
shit?
He probably felt it.
When I called that
Strange
ringleader out and I
chest
said,
pains he
bitch, you
ignored.
going down first
Fatigue
and the rest
he
of you
blamed on
motherfuckers
work.
gonna
A
follow?
heaviness he
Yeah.
couldn't explain. His
Yeah.
body was
This would be
preparing
that
for exit,
prophecy.
and he had no idea the countdown had already started. The day he died, you felt something. Not relief, not satisfaction, just a knowing, a whisper in your spirit that said, it's done. You didn't know what was done, you didn't know he was gone yet, but you felt a shift in the atmosphere, like a weight lifted, like a presence removed. Hours later you saw the social media posts, the shocked reactions, the rest in peace messages. And you knew immediately this wasn't random. This wasn't natural causes in the way people wanted to believe. This was consequence manifesting in physical form. This was the universe's first response to a coordinated attack on someone it protects. And this was only the beginning. 3 months after Marcus, it was Jennifer. Car accident on a road she'd driven 1,000 times. Clear day, no weather issues, no mechanical failure. She just veered off the highway at 70 miles per hour, went through the guardrail, and the car flipped 4 times before landing in a ravine. She died instantly. The police called it driver error. Maybe she was texting, maybe she fell asleep, maybe she had a medical episode. But there was no evidence of any of it. No phone in her hand, no signs of drowsing, no pre-existing conditions. Just a perfectly healthy 38-year-old woman who suddenly lost control and died violently on a sunny afternoon. Jennifer was Marcus's second in command. When he created the group chat, she was the first to join. She wasn't just a participant. She was enthusiastic. She added fuel to every fire Marcus started. She volunteered for the worst tasks, the cruelest messages, the deepest betrayals. Where Marcus was strategic, Jennifer was vicious.
I said that
she
shit too.
enjoyed it. You could tell by the way she wrote, by the energy behind her words, that hurting you gave her some twisted satisfaction. She told people you were dangerous. She convinced your friends you were manipulative. She fabricated stories that made you look unstable, untrustworthy, unsafe. And she did it with such conviction that people who'd known you for years started questioning their own experiences. But Jennifer made a mistake that Marcus hadn't. She got personal. She didn't just attack your reputation. She tried to destroy your livelihood. She contacted your employer with false allegations. She filed complaints that could have ended your career. She weaponized systems designed to protect people and turned them into tools of destruction. And that escalation, that willingness to not just hurt you, but erase your ability to survive, that crossed a line, even in spiritual warfare. Because attacking someone's peace is one thing. Attacking their ability to feed themselves, to keep a roof over their head, to maintain basic survival, that's attempting murder by proxy. And the universe doesn't let that slide. The last text Jennifer sent in the group chat was 2 days before she died. It said, "I'm not stopping until they're completely gone." Someone responded, asking if she was sure she wanted to go that far. She replied, "I don't care what it takes. They need to be erased." That was her final written statement. 2 days later, her car became her coffin. And now you're the only one who knows that her last words were essentially a death wish she accidentally placed on herself. Because when you declare someone needs to be erased, when you put that energy into the universe with murderous intent, you better be absolutely certain you're not the one marked for deletion. She wasn't certain. She was confident. And confidence killed her on a road she'd driven safely 1,000 times before. David was next. Cancer, stage 4. Diagnosis to death in 11 weeks.
Wow.
It started with a cough
11
he couldn't
weeks.
shake. Then
Number
weight
11.
loss, then pain. By the time he went to the doctor, it had already spread everywhere. Lungs, liver, bones, brain. The oncologist said he'd never seen it move that aggressively. David's family said it was genetic, but no one in his family had ever had cancer. His wife said it was environmental, but he lived in the same house for 15 years. The doctors couldn't explain the speed. The pathology couldn't identify the origin. It was like his body just decided to destroy itself from the inside out.
Wow.
And nothing could stop the process once it started. David was quieter than Marcus and Jennifer, but he was just as committed. He didn't lead. He didn't volunteer for the worst tasks, but he never questioned anything they did. He was the enabler, the yes man, the one who provided validation when others started having doubts. When someone in the group chat would express hesitation about going too far, David would jump in with encouragement. They deserve this. We're doing the right thing. Don't feel guilty.
Y'all
He
hear
was
that
the
shit?
conscience killer, the voice that silenced internal warning systems. And that role, that position of keeping everyone locked into hatred when they might have naturally
That's why it
walked
was
away,
cancer.
that made him just as guilty as the leaders. Maybe more, because he had moments of awareness and chose to suppress them. The night before his diagnosis, David had a dream. He told his wife about it the next morning, casually, not knowing he was describing prophecy. He said he dreamed of being buried alive, of dirt filling his mouth and lungs, of suffocating slowly while people he knew stood around the grave, watching but not helping. His wife laughed it off, said he'd been watching too many horror movies. But that dream was a message. It was his subconscious processing what his body already knew.
Wow.
He was being consumed from the inside. The cancer wasn't random cellular mutation. It was physical manifestation of
His wife
spiritual
didn't even have
rot.
no sense.
It was his body reflecting what his spirit had become. And 11 weeks later, he was buried for real. In a coffin, under dirt, exactly like the dream warned. By David's funeral, people started connecting dots they wished they could ignore. 3 people, 3 deaths, 3 members of the same social circle gone within a year. Someone at the funeral whispered, "This is strange, right?" Someone else quickly shushed them, uncomfortable with the question, because acknowledging the pattern meant acknowledging something supernatural was happening.
Yeah, that's how
And most
stupid they
people would
was.
rather live in
They was in
comfortable
denial.
ignorance than face uncomfortable truth. But you weren't at David's funeral. You weren't at any of the funerals. Not because you weren't invited, because you knew your presence would make the pattern undeniable. You stayed away, and in your absence, they whispered about you anyway. They wondered if you knew. They wondered if somehow you were causing it, and a few of them, the smart ones, started to wonder if they were next. Sarah went forth. Stroke at 35, she was at the gym, mid-streak-out when it hit. One moment she was on the treadmill, the next she collapsed. Brain hemorrhage, massive and immediate. She was dead before the ambulance arrived.
Damn.
The doctors said it was a congenital aneurysm, something she was born with that just happened to rupture at that exact moment. But Sarah had been getting annual physicals. She'd had brain scans for migraines just 2 years prior. Nothing showed up. Nothing indicated she was walking around with a time bomb in her skull. And yet, on a random Tuesday at 6:00 p.m.,
Not
her
Tuesday.
brain just exploded and ended her life in seconds. Sarah was the spiritual one in the group. Ironic, isn't it? She was the one who believed in energy, karma, manifestation, all of it.
She knew better.
And she used that knowledge not for healing, but for harm. She was the one who suggested they do more than just gossip and sabotage. She was the one who introduced the idea of rituals, of focused intention, of collective energy work aimed at your destruction. She told the group that if they all visualized your downfall at the same time, if they all held the intention of your suffering together, it would amplify the effect. She turned their hatred into a coordinated spiritual attack. She made them all complicit in something darker than they realized they were participating in.
Wow.
But Sarah knew the rules. She knew about protection. She knew about rebound. She knew that attacking someone spiritually carries risk, especially if the target is shielded, and yet she did it anyway. Maybe she thought her own spiritual practices would protect her. Maybe she believed her intentions were justified enough that the universe would approve. Or maybe she was just arrogant.